Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to the Morning Mindset. I hope you're ready to get your mind aligned with the truth of God. You know, it's interesting that as media has become more and more predominant in our day, as we see more and more both on social media, on the internet, on cable news, about what's going on in the world, it seems like politics has become front and center almost 24/7. It's just every season of the year. Something political is going on, and we're hearing about it over and over and over. And we can get in this kind of a mindset. We can easily get into this place where we are kind of up in arms about those things. We are upset. We are agitated. We are frustrated with what's going on a governmental level. And we don't recognize that we are subtly shifting our trust from our King and our God, Jesus Christ, to the leaders of our land. And that may sound like a very drastic statement to you, but I believe it's true. I believe it subtly starts to happen. And the degree of agitation we feel about the things going on in the political realm betrays that fact to us. It shows us what's really happening deep down. Now, I'm not just pulling this out of the air. I'm pulling this actually from the principles I see in Psalm 146. Verse number 3 says, "Put not your trust in princes, in a son of man in whom there is no salvation. When his breath departs, he returns to the earth. On that very day, his plans perish." Do you hear what he's saying? He's saying no politician, no president, no prime minister, no government official is ever going to be the answer to your problems or my problems or the problems of our country. We are not to put our trust in them. And you know, we see this every election cycle when a new candidate arises or some new approach to government is being laid out. And really, I don't think there's anything new in a sense. We've seen it all before. We've heard the promises before. We know how the election cycle in politics happens and how it works. But we see this. We see people come on the horizon and others get all excited and enthusiastic and actually campaigning hard for their candidate. Now, I'm all for being active in politics, and I'm all for anybody who believes there's a candidate worth supporting actually supporting them. But my friends, let's be careful. Let's put not our trust in men or women. Because as Psalm 146 tells us, when their breath departs, they return to the earth. On that very day, their plans will perish. It's time for us to turn the corner. Let's look at verse 5. He says, "Blessed is he whose help is the God of Jacob, whose hope is the Lord his God." And now he's going to contrast God to these sons of men who we sometimes put our trust in. He says, "God who made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, who keeps faith forever, who executes justice for the oppressed, who gives food to the hungry. The Lord sets the prisoners free. The Lord opens the eyes of the blind. The Lord lifts up those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous. The Lord watches over the sojourners. He upholds the widow and the fatherless, but the way of the wicked he brings to ruin." Boy, that is a wonderful description of who God is, and is what we would love to hear as the platform of any candidate, isn't it? I mean, that's what we would love to see in office. But you know what? He's already in office. He's the King of the universe. He's our God. And David is telling us here to put our trust where it belongs, in our God, in our King, no matter what's going on around us politically. Because as verse 10 wraps up the chapter, the Lord will reign forever. Your God, O Zion, to all generations. Praise the Lord. You see, he's telling us, reminding us that our God is the King, and he is the one we should be trusting. My friends, if you're benefiting from the Morning Mindset, would you consider supporting us? Check out the description in your podcast player or app.